Good afternoon, family. You're tuned in to the Ron G Live Show right here on WSAN Radio, where the community comes first and the conversation stays real. We've got a great lineup today, so turn us up and let's get this midday energy started. Stay locked in.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. This is Ron G here on WSAN Radio, and we are broadcasting live on several platforms. And I'm telling you, we have a group of ladies right here. To me, is a force to be reckoned with on the things that they're doing out there in the community, and not only just community for the nation. And they have agreed to be on the show. First of all, I got to talk about Dr. Wynn right here. I ran across her, or she ran across me. How was it? Was it you looking me up, or I looked you up on LinkedIn?
Actually, you looked me up, but it was after I'd reached out to you because you met one of my queens and she was quite impressed at while you all were doing some community service. So that's how, and you looked me up and said, divorce prevention specialist, what?
That's what it was. That's what it was. And I said, I got to find out what prevention is, like having life insurance for a divorce.
That's right.
And so it was an honor to meet you and to talk to you about everything that you did. But then when you told me about what you was doing here and said, I'm gonna have some ladies come on. And I said, okay. And sure enough, yesterday I got an email stating that you had 2 of them signed up already.
Yes.
And I was so honored for that. And but we're here right now on WSN Radio just to talk about these young ladies here. I'm gonna let them introduce themselves so I don't mess up like I did earlier. So that's my way of saying, I'm not gonna mess up and have Dr. Wynn mad at me. So let's start with anyone.
May I recommend we start with Her Majesty, Mrs. Black Globe International, Joi Rodrigue.
Hello, everybody. My name is Joi Rodrigue. I was born in the UK and raised in Washington and Canada, currently residing in Texas. So I'm also a 22-year veteran, assigned to Special Forces Group, award-winning parachutist, motorcycle safety instructor, military child advocate. I have a degree in chemical engineering from the University of Washington, and I'm a CEO and co-owner of Cajun Kick and Paws with my fantastic husband and my 3 littles.
Wow. I mean, I'm just amazed because you hear these stories about what people could do. I'm gonna say it, so don't y'all get mad at me, okay? I grew up around nothing but strong Black women in my life, and they're the ones who's got me doing what I'm doing right now, believing things that you're doing. But I'm listening to my cousins and my sisters on the struggles they have to be out there in the world, on how they look down on Black women. But for you to go through what you're doing right now in a paratrooper too, I'm not jumping out of no plane. I'm telling you that right now. But all I can say is thank you for your service and thank you for everything that you're doing right now, because it takes a lot. Because when you go up to plate, I think somebody told us a while back, a Black woman already have 2 strikes against them before they even step up to the plate. But to overcome that, the challenges on what you did and what you're still doing, it's an honor to be talking to you today.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Now, if we would talk to Her Highness, Ms. Black Globe North America, Shanté D.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Shanté D, and I am Ms. Black Globe North America. I am the founder and CEO of Berry Best Publishing Company. I have worked and written for Essence Magazine. I'm the author of 3 best-selling publications, including my books, Ride It Out, God Goes, and Be the Light. As a former UNCF scholar, I graduated from Xavier University of Louisiana, and also I just recently received my master's. I was born in California, raised in St. Louis, Missouri, and now I reside in Texas. I'm excited about representing Miss Black Globe North America. Thank you.
Wow. So you reside in Texas, where, Houston?
Yes, sir.
I just took a wild guess. I I didn't read up anything. I just took a wild guess, Houston. That's phenomenal. The things that you're doing too, just to get out there and recognize and push other Black women and writing for Essence magazine, that by itself is right there. And the books that you wrote, I try writing. I wrote some poems, but that's a challenge by itself.
We're gonna have to hear one of those poems. I'm just gonna put that out there.
Oh man. I recorded, I could play it for y'all.
Okay. We'll wait. We'll wait. We'll wait.
Yeah, I did record. Matter of fact, I was at a poetry reading. I was going there just to sit up there and support. And they asked me to give a read. I said, I don't have no poems here. So I looked at my phone, I found one I had in my phone, and I read it. They said, who wrote that? I said, me, you, right?
You are a man of multi-talents, it sounds like.
Whatever it is, I just do it. So, but no, I am blessed to be honored with you and things that you're doing for the community because God knows we need more strong Black women like y'all around to push other women to challenge them to do things because I always hear, I don't know what to do. I can't do it. And my mom always told us never use the word can't. Just do it. And so I find myself out there. The things she was teaching my sisters and stuff about growing up being a woman, I took some of that, took that advice myself and use it. I figured,
Absolutely.
hey, I could use it too. What's she gonna do? Beat me up? But
She might, but that's not where we're going with
no,
that.
no, but
So
no,
just so you know, you have a Hurricane Katrina survivor
yeah.
and the paratrooper of 114 jumps across 3 different countries. So I just wanted you to know some of their background when you talk about
Yeah.
what we can do.
Well, speaking about that, let's bring up the first question. And you are let me see here. Miss Berry, you turn your life experience, especially after you surviving Hurricane Katrina. So let's talk about Hurricane Katrina and how that uprooted you at that time. And when it uprooted you, did you have an inkling what you're going to do later on in life? Was this a learning experience for you? What type of experience was it being in Hurricane Katrina?
Yes, great question. As I would say, I don't think situations happen to us, they happen for us. So for me to be down there during Hurricane Katrina when it happened, it was somewhat of a blessing. I think God took me through that so I could find my purpose. When I was there, I was one amongst 400 students that was left in the city, and we had to basically ride it out for a week. And I really had to weather that storm, and I lost all of my personal belongings. So I had to go without for that week and regain everything. So when I went back home to St. Louis, everyone who I told my story to, they said, you should write a book. And so I did eventually start writing a book and came up with my first book, which is Write It Out, Transforming Storms into Greatness. And this is definitely, Katrina definitely shaped my purpose because it allowed me, it gave me a story to tell that's a part of my journey. And then I started my publishing company because it took me 10 years to write my book, but it does not take 10 years to write a book. It just takes an organized, well-developed plan. And so I started my publishing company called Berry Best Publishing after that. So Katrina definitely helped shape the purpose, helped me write my book, and then catapulted me into creating my own publishing company to help other authors, writers become authors and tell their impactful stories that changes lives.
I want to dab in on publishing companies. People are writing books now, going through Amazon and all that stuff, but I'm hearing nightmare stories about that. They say you shouldn't do that. Now, with you, how hard was it for you to start your publishing company, and what challenges did you have?
Great question. So that advice, well, it was not hard for me to start my publishing company at all. I just had to make up my mind to do it, and make a plan, write it down, and execute on that plan. So it was not hard for me to start it. It's just executing. It takes organization. It takes the will to get up every day and to want to create it. Now, when it comes to different outlets that you use, Amazon is one of the best printers and the largest in the world. So you have to research and find out which partnerships are the best for you. So I did find out that Amazon was the best partner with when it comes to printing. Now, when it comes to publishing, I'm pretty much, the one-stop shop, Very Best Publishing.
Okay.
So,
Ooh, I like that. I like with your answer, what you said. Miss Joy, I'm still amazed. Paratrooper in the Army and a motorcycle instructor, safety and all that. That's a unique combination. How do you balance that, doing that and still personally represent your community?
Good question. Well, with the military, it always teaches you time management, responsibility, safety, and awareness. So being a motorcycle instructor, that is really easy. I have a tendency to be a good teacher and to break things down on little levels to where people can understand them, which ends up making you a better leader. So with those leadership skills and dealing with different personalities, it makes it an even balance back and forth. So you can support your community by being that leader and showing them, not just talking about it, you're actually doing it. And when people see you doing it, that's what makes people respond to you positively.
Now, do they see you walking in and shocked to see that you're a Black woman with all this going on and coming in? Do you get faces turning?
A lot of times. A lot of times. And it's from all ages, all races, all ethnicities. You're showing that leadership, you're showing that pride, you're showing that installment of your morals and your values and how you enter a room, how you exit a room. That's what draws attention to you. And as long as it's done in a positive light, that's what encourages people.
I hear you on that because myself personally, I was told, I walked in a room one time and they told me I'm one conceited person. I said, oh, you're getting that confused with confidence. I said, I'm walking in the room with confidence. Maybe never seen confidence on a Black man before, but that's how I walk in the room. I'm confident what I'm going to do. And so, and with you walking in the room, I could see the heads turning right now. She's going to tell us something. You can hear that going on back. And it's always been like that. No matter what, we are in times right now that we got to really sit there and we shouldn't have to prove to anybody. We got the education, we got the background, we got the experience. What more is there to prove that we could do the job? But then they still second guess us on what we could do.
Very true.
I'm gonna mess with Miss Berry over here because you worked with SN Magazine. Do you know how many people would love to work with SN Magazine? I would love to come on their deals like in New Orleans. I had never made one. Never. And that's my dream, to go ahead and make one. How do you see your role in the Black media evolving in today's world?
wow, it's a great question. I have a saying in one of my speeches, if your life ended tonight, who would write your story and get it right? And I feel like that's such a testament to media. We have to start writing our own stories and getting our stories right, getting our stories correct. So I feel like my position in Black media is just telling our stories correctly, telling our stories from a place of truth, a place of honesty, and also a place of integrity. So I think that's something that all Black media should have, to replicate and just telling our stories right.
Yeah, you're right about that. And don't make it like you caught a minnow, and by the time the story go to somebody else, it's a great big whale. So I know what you mean by writing a story and making it right, because it was a time that before you could put a story out there, you have to have three sources. So social media made it hard for that. Now people just put out anything, no matter if it's wrong, they just put it out. I wish we go back to those times again, because then you got credible writers that have come up with the true story and not fabricate anything. So if you sit down and do your homework and write your story, your reader could, I think some readers are smart. They could tell fluff behind the real stuff.
Absolutely.
I would want to jump in on that because for Shanté and Joy, Her Highness and Her Majesty invited us as the Black Globe International Pageant System to go to New Orleans, Louisiana during the Essence Fest weekend. And so as a result, we had an opportunity. I had never been to Essence Fest, so I had a wonderful time. It was a great experience. We walked into the room, and the celebrity of these fabulous, beautiful women was evident. There were a number of people stopping us, wanting to take their pictures, wanting them to just to see what's going on. What are you doing? Tell me about your story. And that was happening a lot, a lot, a lot. And so we had an opportunity to go to Essence Fest. We had an opportunity to see that. We had an opportunity to really uplift a lot of people who did not know or had never seen so many beautiful Black queens with actually wearing their crowns
Mm.
at one time. And so it was a powerful, fantastic thing. The little girls, we had several little girls that said something along the lines of, "Look, mommy, a real princess." And
Oh.
yes, and they would run up to the ladies. And so that's part of why Black Globe International Pageants was founded, because my daughter, who was 3, was watching with me a pageant. And across the screen, the top 5 ladies came across the screen, their pictures, their headshots, all blonde haired, blue eyed women. My daughter then, after when it was tea time, had a yellow scarf, a yellow towel on her head. And I said, "Honey, why do you have the towel on your head as opposed to spread on the tea table?" And she said she wanted to look like the beauty queens. "Oh, no, you don't." I
Mm.
said, "Honey, you are gorgeous, beautiful, fabulous." Yes, those ladies were pretty and nice and all the things because God made us and we can all be blessings, but you are the most beautiful. And so I made it a point. I prayed over it, made sure that she would always have Black queens to look at. So these ladies, not only are they phenomenal and impactful, but they are Black queens. And we have to tell that story because there was some negativity that came out about Essence Fest. And maybe it isn't as great as it used to be. Maybe the new owner is doing something more with Africans than African Americans, Black Americans. And as a result of that, there was some information that got out there that really wasn't accurate connecting Black Globe International Pageants with Essence Fest. And although Essence Fest is a wonderful thing, and I'm sure it can be wonderful again, especially if we do get involved with it, that we want to make sure that we tell the story ourselves. So that's another reason it's important. Tell your own story and get it right.
Yes, that point right there. What you just hit me when you said little Black girls was walking around saying, "Oh, look at that." You know, seeing that right there probably inspired those young girls right then and there to see somebody like you could be like that. It's not just the pretty face of the big pageants they have, like you said, all white faces up there, but actually seeing this. I mean, that's them little girls probably went home and probably made a crown and sitting at the house right now with their own crown on. That is something else. Yeah, now, Joy, being a mom, a wife, a title holder, how do you balance things with your life, your personal life, and with a mission to inspire and serve others?
Well, it all takes with resiliency. You have to be flexible. Me and my husband are both retired military. We're both involved in our communities, all kinds of organizations. And to be able to balance those organizations and still have time for your littles when they want to go camping, in the living room, or they want to have movie day, you still have to be able to give them that attention and time, because if you don't, someone else will, and then they're going to pick up bad habits. So, and at the same time, if you don't give your family that same attention, then your family separates. So it's about communication, being flexible, communicating is the main thing, good and bad, because not everything is going to be positive, but as long as you talk about it, it makes everything work like a puzzle. You can put all the pieces together. If that one piece that's missing is out there flapping because you didn't communicate about it or you didn't spend that time, you'll never be able to put that piece together to make a whole picture. So being, I don't know, available and vulnerable is what keeps everything moving.
I like that. I like you said a piece of the puzzle. If that piece is missing, it's hard to get that piece back. And that's what a lot of families are struggling right now today is sit down, communicate. Because I was a single parent. I would have my son read a newspaper while I was cooking dinner. And just the front page, that was it. But Dad, I want to read. No, no, no. Now I'm going to ask you some questions. He didn't know what I was doing. I want to make sure that he comprehend everything that was in the front page of the story. What was his thoughts on it?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and now this dude is working for a bank mortgage company and stuff. He got a better job than I had. I'm telling you, these kids nowadays. He said, Dad, I'm not doing that hard as you did. I said, that's supposed to do, you're supposed to work smarter, not harder. I worked hard. Miss Berry, what advice will you give someone in the community who's facing life storms and needs encouragement to ride it out?
Great question. Oh, wow. The advice that I would give them. Definitely situations don't happen to you, they happen for you. Um, know that God wants to get the glory in your story. So whatever is happening to you, it's happening to push you towards your purpose. So don't shy away from it. And then also just lean into your lesson. It's a lesson behind every experience of adversity. Through Katrina and through me surviving that horrible experience and horrific experience, I was able to birth my first book and birth my first company, my publishing company. So just know that it's a lesson behind every storm and every setback. It's a setup for a comeback. So be encouraged.
Oh, I like that. I used that the other day, set up for a comeback. I like that. Um, what you just said, my memory sort of went back there when I was in college. Um, I wrote a paper, and at the end of it, I said, years of wandering is years gathering experience. And the professor looked at me, what do you mean by this? I said, all experience is not good experience.
Mm.
But if it's bad experience, you chuck that somewhere. You don't want to do that again. If it's good experience, you put in your database and use that later on in life. And I told him that's what I meant by that. Huh?
Yeah.
I never heard about that. And I said, okay, I guess I was the first. I don't know. But what you said, it does take time and everything you do. I'm gonna ask you one more question about Katrina. It's just you hit a subject that's sort of dear to my heart because we had a lot of people that came in from Louisiana to Houston, San Antonio, and all that. And do you know they marked them all as being dangerous? And I could not figure that out. They marked them all. Well, they could be from this because they were blacks, and they felt that they were bringing crime and all this stuff. I said, what are y'all doing? These people just washed away out their house and everything, and you're gonna treat them like this? So did you experience any of that racial bigotry out there?
Unfortunately, I did. I did not identify with the term refugee that they gave some of the survivors of Katrina. I was blessed to go to Houston when I was able to get out of New Orleans, and then I went to Atlanta and then back home to St. Louis. So I had a long journey home. And amongst my journey, I just noticed that term that was circulating, refugee. Like our ancestors didn't build this beautiful land that we that we reside in. So it was just very confusing, if anything. So I let that term just kind of roll off the back and just I didn't identify with it at all. And but you do experience those things, unfortunately, because we do have those mindsets of certain people have different mindsets about, African Americans or Black people. And I just had to stay positive and tell my own story correctly. So thankfully, when I got back home to St. Louis, it was nothing but love. I had free tuition waiting on me back at home, and just the thoughts and prayers of my family. So I really didn't identify with those words too much.
Well, good for you for pushing that back and not falling into their trap. That's what I call it. Good for you for doing that. All right, one final question. This is going to be for both of you. If you could leave our listeners one final thought today about resilience, leadership, community service, what would it be?
Ooh, I'd like to go first.
Okay.
So it would be to, one, always stay positive, be flexible, and don't just talk about it if you see something wrong. Do something about it. Be active, get involved. That's what's going to make the change.
Okay.
And I would like to answer it next. I I would leave them with the message of you are who you think you are. You're exactly who you think you are. So be that person, be the model, be the example. So model what you want to see. If you want to be a person of excellence, model that within yourself. You're exactly who you think you are, and just set your mind up for success every day to be that impactful person, to keep going and never give up.
Okay. Now I'm going to give the floor to all three of y'all. Just final thoughts. Where you at, what you're going to do, and how can they get a hold of you?
So I'm going to obviously yield the floor to my queens. If we would go with Your Highness, Ms. Black Globe North America, Shanté Berry first.
Yes, so I reside in Houston, Texas. I'll be doing book signings and looking for new authors always. So you can get in touch with me at Berry Best Publishing, which is my tagline on Instagram and Facebook.
Okay.
And Your Majesty, Mrs. Black Globe International, Joi Rodrigue.
Well, I will be here in San Antonio. And if I'm not here in San Antonio, I'll be in Louisiana. And if I'm not in Louisiana, I'll be in Canada. So I'll be all over the place, visiting schools, visiting communities, doing community service, being out there setting a positive light. And if you would like to get in touch with me, you can get in touch with me at Mrs. Black Globe International at gmail.com or at Black Globe Pageants.com.
Okay.
Absolutely. And for me, I am Dr. Wynn. I am the divorce prevention specialist and the founder of Black Globe International Pageants. And we are looking to do some outstanding things. One, we're bringing pageants across the globe. So we are talking to Ghana, we are talking to Liberia, we are talking to Canada. We are already ready for Canada. We have our United States pageant coming up in March or April, spring 2026. So we're definitely looking to put the crown on your head because our delegates are already queens. We're just looking forward to crowning you. You can go to blackglobepageants.com and you can find us over social media at Black Globe Pageants as well. And for me specifically, for those who are looking for mental health or relationship work, I am at Dr. Wynn Global, DRWYNN Global. So we are absolutely super excited to be here on WSAN Radio with the awesome Mr. Ron right here. Thank you so much for inviting us, and we absolutely will look forward to hearing and listening to the replays as well.
Oh yeah, I have those up and going later on today. Edit everything and get it out there. I'm honored to meet three queens because I started using the word queens years ago before anybody said it. Why are you calling her a queen? That's not your wife. She's still a queen. She's still a queen. A queen, it doesn't mean that I'm married to. No, you're my every Tuesday morning. If y'all want to listen to some good old school music, every Tuesday morning from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. is Queen Day. I play nothing but Black queens. That's it. That's my segment right there, and I do it, and because I want to honor our queens. because
Tuesday, you said Tuesday morning, 7 a.m. to 10. What time zone is that?
that's Central Standard Time.
Okay, perfect.
But you out there in Arizona?
Yes, right now I'm in Arizona and a little bit I'll be in Michigan. So a
You
little
jump
bit I'll
across,
be in, yes.
jump across time zones.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, so that's what I do, and I will make sure I do something about this right here. Now, anything you want to get out, anything that's going on, please feel free to send it to me. And I would definitely do a commercial on it, whatever I need to do to get the word out, because I didn't know about y'all until Dr. Wynn told me. And if I never would have met Dr. Wynn, I never have known this even existed. So we got to get the word out, let everybody know that this is real and it's happening right here in the United States of America.
Absolutely. So I would, ladies. So now, first, it was, I must give credits because it was Her Majesty Joy that you actually met. You just didn't know it because you all were giving out turkeys at the time. So she was the first connection. But I wanted to ask, ladies, wouldn't he make a great candidate for the Real Deal Men's Panel?
Absolutely.
What's that?
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll have to tell you about that. We'll get you stay tuned on that.
Y'all got that little y'all not
Sign
sitting.
them up. Sign them up.
Okay. We'll tell you more about that another time.
Okay.
They have to stay tuned to your station to find out about it.
Okay. Now, Joy, I'll let Joy know when she met me there at the turkey drive, that was the third one I did that week.
Oh, wow.
So I'm out all the time doing things. I think we gave out a total of 1,500 turkeys at your spot we were at, but a total of 5,000 something throughout the city.
Wow.
And so I'm all about community. You know, I'm not in it for the money. People say, you're not in it for money. I said, I'm good. I said, you know, it's nice, but I'm not in it for the money like most people are in it for the money. I'm in it for the people and for the community. And that's just me.
That's outstanding. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. And I would definitely stay in touch. And I'm pretty sure, Dr. Wynn, you're going to send some more my way. I already know that.
Yes, sir. I have some more for you. Yes, sir.
All right. Well, y'all take care. And thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for your
Thank
time.
you.
All right. Thank you for tuning in to WSAN Radio. Catch us on our YouTube channel, WSAN Radio SA. Subscribe to our channel and hit that notification button.